I know.
So this gentleman that we're about to see asks Myron a question. Really great question. He touched on the hatred from black people towards white people, and then there were some black girls in the back laughing. Which ironic, isn't it? Because if it was the other way around where the white Metcalfe boys killed the black Carmelo kid, the entire world would be literally on fire. And he's just asking a question and they're laughing their face off about it. And also we touch on, how black people are hard to integrate into other culture because they become violent. They become aggressive. And the reason for this is because they're being controlled by the children of the lie and they don't even know it. They're emotionally being manipulated. These people make you feel good, they make you feel bad, and you don't even know it that you're being controlled because you can't even see. And they keep telling you about racism, and you keep holding on to it. And by holding on to it, you judge white people and you end up resenting them and hating them. And white people need to tell black people the truth. Stop pandering to black people. Pandering to them is not helping them. You're doing it out of guilt and fear.
I asked a question before, but just to preface this, I know this is going to piss off probably everybody in the room, but you said that this was kind of open mic, kind of you talked about the JQ stuff, you talked about women, you talked about that. So what I want to bring up is two incidents. The first happened on this campus roughly about a month ago, where a guy named Nate Baker, as a junior, was just plowed over and ruthlessly killed by some illegal immigrant in a car. And he was wanted by ICE, all of that stuff. But the real incident I want to talk about is what happened in Frisco, Texas about a month ago, which was the murder of Aston Metcalfe by Carmelo Anthony. And why has Donald Trump not said a single word about this issue? How long are we going to let white people be murdered in the streets before we do something? I am tired of this.
That's facts. That's facts.
Well, no, I see some of you guys are laughing, but the reality is if it was the other way around, you guys would be burning down the city, if we're going to be honest here, right? Got the black one in the back screaming and laughing at him.
And I don't know what at least,
hold on, let me, because this is the thing, because a couple of the people here are laughing at your rage, but I find it interesting that if it was the other way around, they can burn down a city like Minneapolis over George Fentanyl, but if he goes ahead and expresses some rage, you guys laugh at him, which is interesting to me because
you can disagree what is happening with the situation, but there's never, ever any reason or any time for you to get angry or upset. Because anyone that has anger has hatred in them. And you don't want that. But you can disagree with what's happening.
They can't be honest about this, where there is seriously a problem in America where a small percentage of people are committing a majority of the violent crime. What? Black men account for maybe 8% of the population, but they're committing something like 50 to 60% of the violent crime, and they can't talk about this, right? So I do think that there's a problem here where we need to address black culture. We need to address the degeneracy. We got to address the violent gang and rap culture, and it's an issue. And the thing is that guys like him can't speak up about it. He speaks up about it, and then we got black girls in the back laughing at him. But, when they kill a black man, y'all are rioting all over the place and burning cities down, and nobody says anything to you guys. So I think he has a right to be pissed off. I was pissed off when I saw it.
I just have kind of a follow-up to that. I just have a follow-up to that. You talking about this as kind of like a socioeconomic thing, a culture thing. Well, if that's true, why have the crime rates kind of stayed the same since the 60s, since the civil rights movement even? Before rap music, speaking on that rap music, why doesn't rap music make white people go just murder people in the streets?
Well, because it's mostly tailored to black people. I know white people listen to it as well. But because hatred is in the black community and it's passed down through generation, but it comes through the woman in every ethnicity, but it's more prevalent in black communities. right? Because of how they're raised, because of slavery mentality, and that the white people are holding them back and they hate white people for it. So it's resentment. They judge the white people and they hate them, so they have anger towards them. And listen, if white, the reason why is because segregation didn't happen naturally. It was a law. You know, it was forced upon people, so we live together instead of letting it happen naturally. So if white people wants to go back and live in their own community and get away from black people, I wouldn't even be surprised, because the blacks, what's wrong with the blacks, man? Let go of your anger. Go and forgive your mother and forgive your father, so God can forgive you. So God can forgive you. And you'll see what's happening. Because this is not okay.
Is this a culture thing, or is this just simply a race issue?
There's a couple things. Now, this is going to be
Racism doesn't exist. It does not exist.
very controversial, but it's an IQ thing too. It's an IQ thing, and this is what's banned a lot of the times. That I got to we're on YouTube, so I'll kind of say this in code word, but it's a multitude of different things. It's culture, it's IQ, it's heritage. All these things play a role. But yeah, there's a bunch of different issues, right? It's a two-tier justice system. There's so many different things that play into it. But I have a saying: around the blacks, never relax. So take from that what you will.
Living around white people is not a human right. You don't get to live with us all the time. All right. This is our country that we built. Yeah, white immigrants built this country. Thank you.
That's true.
Read the Naturalization Act of 1790.
No, it's the truth. This country was founded by white Protestant
And yes,
men.
I understand that black people have been a part of this country since the beginning because of slavery, and I'm not
I think the
endorsing
girls
slavery.
over there don't like what you're saying.
And I know that, yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
They're filled with anger and hatred.
The logical consequence of slavery is that, you have these people displaced in this country, and, at the time, maybe the better choice should have been to just send them back to Africa. Because clearly they can't integrate in a proper society and live with us without just murdering each other in the streets. So it really kind of makes you think, well, now, it's baked in now. What can we do about it? And,
That's a point.
Some people
Valid point.
I watch Nick, like Jason Whitlock, he had the thing with Jason Whitlock, where Jason Whitlock says, oh, well, if they're just Christian, man, then, things would be different. But then you look at countries like the Democratic Republic of Congo. That country's 95% Catholic, roughly. And they have one of the highest murder rates in the world. And, their country's it's a failed state. It just really makes you think, it's not a culture issue, it's not socioeconomic, it's not religion, then, what is it?
Yeah, no,
You know what I've noticed? The more people think because they know Jesus and they know God that they're saved, they're so far from being saved. Because in church, you go to church, these people are so nice, they're so happy, joyful. But just that one Sunday, the rest of the week, they're the devil. And because they think they know Jesus, and because they think they know God, and because they think they know the Bible, and because they think because they go to church, they're saved. When they're so far away from the truth that they're serving the devil and they don't even know. So yes, they think 90% of Christian, yes, right? They have an idea of God. They have an idea of Jesus. Doesn't mean they're living in the way that they should be living, right? They just identify with the word, but they're nowhere close being in the presence of God and knowing God. And when you think you know God, you're so far away from actually knowing God.
IQ does play a huge role in it, and that's the thing that people don't like to discuss. But yeah, no, that's true, man. The truth.
And again, he was speaking facts. I don't care who's gonna be upset about it. If you're upset about it, check yourself. You know something is wrong.